I'm going to keep this straightforward because the biggest question most people have is whether a laser system like the Leica Rugby CLH actually saves you time and money on a job site, or just adds another piece of equipment you'll end up stashing in a corner. If you're sitting on the fence, wondering if the price tag is justified, this review is meant to cut through the hype and give you a clear picture of how the unit performs in the kinds of projects you'll actually be doing: concrete formwork, height adjustments, and land leveling work. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the Rugby CLH isn't a one-size-fits-all level. It's built around a semi-automatic rotating laser that lets you dial in a single grade and then maintain that slope automatically as you move the receiver along. For anyone who's ever had to set up a concrete slab and then spend half a day checking every corner with a manual level, that feature is a genuine time saver. The system's CLC combo remote and receiver fused into one handheld unit means you're not juggling two separate pieces of hardware. In practice, that translates to fewer cables, fewer chances to lose a component, and a quicker setup when you're out on a rough job site. Now, let's talk about the environment it's built for. The Rugby CLH carries an IP68 military-grade rating, so it can handle rain, dust, and even the occasional splash of mud without misbehaving. I've seen comparable laser levels that start throwing errors after a light drizzle, forcing crews to pack them away and wait for the next dry window. With this Leica, you can keep the laser on while the crew is still pouring concrete, and you won't have to worry about the unit seeping in water and shorting out later. That durability is where a lot of the value comes from, especially for contractors who work in the elements day after day. Who should consider buying this? If you're a professional contractor or a site manager who regularly does formwork for foundations, precast panels, or any project that requires a consistent slope over a large area, the Rugby CLH fits nicely into your workflow. The ability to set an 8% slope and have the laser maintain it as you walk the site means you can lay out drainage gradients or road camber without stopping to relevel every few meters. It's also a solid choice for land leveling projects. Think grading a driveway or preparing a slab for a solar array, because the semi-automatic grade lock keeps the reference line steady while you move the receiver across uneven terrain. On the flip side, if your typical jobs involve short, flat pours, or you only need a basic level for occasional interior work, you'll probably be better off with a simpler, cheaper line laser. The Rugby's strength is in its ability to hold a precise slope over distance. That's overkill if you never need a gradient. Additionally, the unit's price point sits higher than entry-level models, so the return on investment only makes sense when you're using that slope capability day after day. From a practical standpoint, the setup process is pretty intuitive after you get the hang of the one-button grade dial. You power up the laser, select the desired grade, and the unit locks that angle internally. The remote/receiver combo then shows you the deviation in real time, and you can make adjustments on the fly. In my field testing, the visual readout stayed clear even in bright sunlight, which is a common pain point with other lasers that rely on low-contrast LCD screens. The rotating head spins smoothly and maintains a consistent line, which is essential when you're trying to align rebar or form boards across a 40-foot span. Battery life is another everyday factor. Leica equips the Rugby with a rechargeable lithium-ion pack that, in typical use continuous laser operation with occasional grade changes, will last through a full 8-hour shift. You'll need to keep a charger handy, but you won't be scrambling for spare batteries midday. That endurance is a hidden cost saver. You avoid downtime, and you don't have to budget for a stock of disposable cells. There are a couple of trade-offs worth noting. The semi-automatic nature means the unit isn't fully autonomous. You still need to manually move the receiver along the work line. That's not a drawback for most contractors, but if you were hoping for a completely hands-free solution, you'll need to look at a fully automated grade tracking system, which carries its own price premium. Also, the integrated remote/receiver means you lose the flexibility of swapping a larger receiver for longer distances. The handheld unit is perfectly adequate for most site dimensions, but on a very large grading job, say a multi-acre site, you might find the range a bit limiting without an external receiver extension. Another practical consideration is the learning curve. While the interface is clean, the gray dial feature can be confusing the first time you try to set a precise 5% slope. Leica provides a quick start guide, and most users get comfortable after a couple of